Hello, everyone. These are some general updates around the college application process as it pertains to the COVID-19 pandemic. During this presentation, we will give you some Plymouth Regional High School updates, such as how to access information on our websites and through Google Classroom, some national trends, such as through the Common App and virtual visitation that is now quite popular, and address general concerns including questions that may have arisen how the college application process might be affected due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Recent changes at Plymouth Regional High School in terms of how we are tackling the post-secondary planning process due to COVID-19. First of all, there is a change in the minimum credits required for graduation for seniors. Previously, seniors needed to be enrolled in a minimum of 5.5 credits, regardless of how close they were to the 24 credit minimum for graduation. This year, students are only being asked to meet the 24 credit minimum, even if that means they're only enrolled in 2 or 3 credits their senior year. Of course, those students who are looking at mid to more competitive colleges, we highly encourage them to keep their transcripts robust and their academic trends positive. So we'll continue to encourage them to enroll in 5, 6, 7 credits. However, for those who are work-bound, military-bound, looking at community colleges or trade schools, they can utilize the lesser credit requirement if they choose to do so. We're also structuring a lot of our post-secondary planning through Google Classroom. In the event we have to switch to remote learning, students will have access to assignments related to their post-secondary planning, access to deadlines, and the Google Classroom will serve as a way for students to interact with their school counselor through a virtual to-do list. Links and important documents will be included in the Google Classroom. Students are asked to work with their school counselor to decide if they want to be in the 2-year trade school classroom, a regular decision classroom, or an early action classroom. This year we're offering virtual representative visits similar to our rep visits that we've offered in years past. We have links as to who is going to be available to our students when on the school counseling website. We ask that students sign up in advance and they can access the rep visits from home via a link shared on the website or in the quiet room in the library as a group if they are at school that day. On October 14th, we're going to be hosting a school day SAT. Many SAT sites are now closed due to the pandemic, so this school day SAT will be a great opportunity for students to get one administration of the test under their belt prior to applications being due. It's going to be October 14th. We highly encourage students to prepare prior to that day, as students who do will be more likely to get their best scores with only one sitting of the test. If you want information on how to prepare online, please talk to your school counselor. This year, we're excited to host I Am College Bound Day on November 10th. Students who submit applications to any New Hampshire schools on that day will get a fee waiver so that their application submission will be free of charge. That's any New Hampshire school who is submitted on November 10th. Additionally, students who participate in I Am College Bound Day by submitting their New Hampshire applications on November 10th will be entered into a drawing to win a $500 scholarship. We encourage students to have their application materials ready to go prior to the 10th so that they can come in, participate in I Am College Bound Day by only submitting their applications on that day. This applies if you are applying to Lakes Region Community College, New Hampshire Technical Institute, or UNH, St. A's, Dartmouth, etc. This year we're also utilizing the Remind app so kids and parents can get important updates right to their phone. We aim to send out not a ton of information via Remind, but just important updates complete with links and documents, etc. Lastly, we have a pretty robust school counseling website school counseling calendar, links to scholarship information, application tips and essay information, and lots of resources are all available on the school counseling website. Students will submit a majority of their applications through the Common application. This year, the Common application has added a COVID-19 specific question to their application. Students will only need to answer this question one time only. It will be optional if they choose to answer this question or not, but it might be a nice way for students to include how they were impacted personally or academically by COVID-19 pandemic without having to address it throughout their application multiple times. It's important for the schools you're applying to know if you had any major hurdles you needed to cross due to the pandemic. They're less interested in all the activities you missed out on, such as sports and clubs, because that was something that happened nationwide, unless it was a very specific instance that was really significant to you. Otherwise, you can choose to answer this section of the application or not, depending on how significant it is to you. While it's unfortunate that many campuses are not open to visitors this year, there are now a wealth of virtual opportunities available to students when they are researching schools that might be of interest to them. There are virtual rep visits either through the PRHS School Counseling Office or directly through the university. There are virtual open houses and campus tours, and also interviews that students can participate in with current students or the admission representatives that are specific to their colleges. Previously, admissions reps were so busy in the fall visiting so many high schools that they weren't as available. So one silver lining to this pandemic is you will get a lot of direct opportunities to interact with schools that you are interested in. We highly encourage you to take advantage of these opportunities. Colleges are still expecting that you demonstrate your interest in them, and similarly to before, each time you interact with them virtually, they track your interactions in your application file, and it shows the school that you're a serious applicant rather than just having them as an addition on your Common application. So any opportunities you have to reach out and do some research or interact with those schools, we highly recommend that you do so for your own knowledge and to show them that you are a serious applicant. Virtual opportunities that is available are virtual college fairs. This is a way for you to interact with many universities at one sitting to gain important information about their school, the programs they offer, the size, etc. Similarly to if you were to attend a college fair in person, we encourage you to do research prior as to who you would like to interact with and the questions that you have for them so that you're ready to go when you participate in the virtual college fairs. These college fairs that we have linked to are hosting about 600 schools, so doing your research ahead of time will be the best investment of your time. There are links to the October 12th and 18th and November 8th college fairs on the calendar on the school counseling website. I wanted to answer a few questions that have been coming up frequently from our students and families. Many universities and colleges this year are moving to test optional because they don't want students to be deterred by the opportunities they have to access the SAT. You will need to decide prior to submission if you are planning to submit your application as including or not including your test scores, and many schools will not allow you to change your mind after you've submitted your application. So make sure you're making a thoughtful decision about if you're choosing to submit your scores or not. Many parents have been asking about deferrals from the class of 2020 and how that might affect the class of 2021. Most universities we've spoken to are hopeful that it won't have any major impacts on this year's class of applicants and assure us that they will make room for all applicants that they would have admitted otherwise. This year, we think the Common App and supplemental essays are going to hold a bit more weight as many schools are test optional and students' activities will not be as robust given the opportunities that they've had recently. So we encourage you to utilize any resources you have regarding the Common App and supplements, and be really thoughtful about your supplemental essays and making sure they are specific to the schools that you are interested in. Please utilize your school counselor, your English teachers, or any other people who can help you edit and give feedback on your essay. There are a lot of resources on the school counseling website as to how to brainstorm for your essay, what topics are compelling, and what topics are overused and should be avoided. Your school counselors really look forward to working with the students and parents regarding any questions that may arise around post-secondary planning. List of school counselors with their caseload is on the school counseling website, as well as many other resources. We encourage you to call or reach out via email at any time if you have questions. I've referenced our school counseling website a lot, so we wanted to let you know how to access it. If you go to the new PRHS website, which is prhs.pemibaker.org, and you go to the About Us section and scroll down to School Counseling, you will find the link to the school counseling website. We look forward to hearing from you with any questions that may arise, and we wish you the best.